Hello again. It's so good to be with you. You know, as we're looking at the book of Revelation on Sundays, we're going to be looking at the mystery of Babylon. Babylon is a system of corruption that's infected the nature of humanity since a very long time. But then we're also looking at the very likelihood of a rebuilding of the city of Babylon. You know, even Napoleon ended up, losing his life in Babylon. But he had plans for the rebuilding of it, for boulevards and city squares and all that kind of thing. He saw it geopolitically, ideally located for Asia, the Middle East, and Europe, and this coming together of all these regions. So he had great plans for it. But someone might say, but wait a minute, how can there be prophecies fulfilled about the city of Babylon when it's essentially not anywhere reflecting any of its glory? There's a little remnant of what was left in the past. But some people would say, well, Jesus can't come back until Babylon is rebuilt. But that's not true. He could come back and the Antichrist could make a covenant with the nation of Israel and build a temple in the first 3.5 years of the tribulation period. Also, if you think about it, the city of Dubai, from when Dubai first started to develop until the people started to move in was just 6 years. Now, we had seen in our last video that actually the nations of the earth, by the leading of the Antichrist, are going to come together. All the resources and wisdom and manpower are going to be able to go and to rebuild Babylon. So if Dubai, as amazing as that place is, could from start to people moving in, it's just 6 years. Certainly that could be accomplished in 3.5 years, as far as him creating a center of commerce, the Antichrist creating a center of commerce and establishing a temple to commerce, if you would. But as we think about all of that too, what we don't know is from the rapture of the church, how long it might be until the beginning of the 7 year of the tribulation period. A lot of people have this idea the rapture would happen today, and then immediately tomorrow is the beginning of the 7 year tribulation period. But that's not necessarily true. We get the idea that those are the unfolding events of the great day of the Lord. But there could be a window of time in there where even the Antichrist is setting himself up to be well positioned for those 7 years where he just begins to conquer nations and then ultimately take control. So look at Revelation chapter 18 and verse 11. The merchants of the earth weep and mourn over her, Babylon, because no one buys their cargo anymore. Cargo of gold, silver, precious stones, and pearls, fine linen, purple, silk, and scarlet, every kind of citron wood, every article of ivory, every article made from very valuable wood, bronze, iron, and marble, cinnamon, spice, incense, perfume, frankincense, wine, olive oil, fine flour, wheat, cattle, sheep, and cargo of horses, carriages, slaves, and human lives. The fruit you long for has left you, and all things that were luxurious and splendid have passed away from you, and people will no longer find you. When you think about right now the economic capital of the world, New York City, London is such a hub of commerce and all those things and of trading. But when you think about the fact of what's going on in European nations because of COVID, when you look at what's going on in America, the devastating blow of the last few years on our economy and our predominance, that isn't it very easy to get your mind around the fact that they might just rebuild a completely new location, not particularly linked to any established city on the earth so that no one's jealous. And the Antichrist could say, I'm going to build a temple to commerce like Zechariah the prophet saw. And it's going to be in this reestablished city of Babylon. And then when God destroys it, The people are going to look because all the gold, all the silver, all the spices, all the beautiful things, the best of everything, the place to be will actually be in Babylon. But then God is going to destroy it because it will be a seat of wickedness that the Antichrist has established. So the final destruction of Babylon, we have to realize, aligns right before the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ in glory on the white horse to destroy the Antichrist. Listen to Isaiah chapter 13. Behold, the day of the Lord is coming, cruel with fury and burning anger, to make the land a desolation, and he will exterminate its sinners from it. For the stars of heaven and their constellations will not flash their light. The sun will be dark when it rises, and the moon will not shed its light. Verse 19 of Isaiah 13, and Babylon, the beauty of kingdoms, the glory of the Chaldeans' pride will be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, he overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. How did he do it? With that fire and brimstone, that hail that was falling down out of heaven. And all of that is lined up in Isaiah chapter 13. When the sun is darkened, the stars are darkened, and the moon is darkened, all of that destruction, earthquakes, hailstone, fire, the sun not shining, the moon not shining, the stars not shining, will be at the time of the destruction of Babylon and the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. The destruction of Babylon is right at the end of the 7-year tribulation period. So that's just a little bit of information that we were able to look a little bit deeper on. I hope that blessed you.